for Ronnie O'Sullivan against Junhui, the last match of the day. Thanks.
No, I won't forget. When you wrap that cable around there, it breaks it. Huh? When you wrap it around the belt. Yeah, but it's not round underneath it, so that will work out. Yeah. Thing is, you haven't got a jacket, so you've got to do something with it. A jacket to hide it. Okay. All best thing, play well. All best Ronnie, play well. Do you want to call for me, Ronnie? It's a head, it's your choice thing. You break? Okay, thank you. The first frame, Ding Junhui to break.
Well, we've already had our money's worth today, but the good news is one more match still to come. Ronnie O'Sullivan and Ding Junhui. Will it be another decider? Head-to-head certainly favour O'Sullivan. 15 wins against 4. Of course, he beat Ding in the same stage, the quarterfinals of the Northern Ireland Open just a few weeks ago here. 5-2. Had a bit of a wait, about 45 minutes later than planned because of the Li Hang Judd Trump match, but we're finally underway. Yeah, Ding was defending the UK title, but came a cropper in the second round to David Grace in a decider, and had to survive a decider last night against Jamie O'Neill to book his place in the quarterfinals.
Yes, Ding did beat Ronnie O'Sullivan, as been said, in the UK Championship, but Ronnie's won the last 2 meetings. Caught that one a little bit thick. Don't be surprised if Ronnie O'Sullivan plays on when he needs snookers, if he does need snookers, because that tip does need some knocking in. Not sure if he's had practice with it. Could only leave the red it was playing on. He'd had a look at the pack of reds there. Nothing goes.
It's always an interesting meeting, I think, between these two. And of course, they will play first round of the Masters next month.
One.
O'Sullivan first in.
Yeah, it's a good shot as well.
I think you could make a case these are the two most popular snooker players in the world. Ding, of course, with hundreds of millions of fans in China, and Ronnie is popular everywhere.
Even in China. Especially in China.
So there'll be a lot of eyes on this one right around the world.
Well, he'd like to come down for the red that's blocking the pocket for the black going in. That's immediately what he's done.
Four.
Now the black will go in this right corner. Pink's available. Red to the right of the pink is available.
Five.
Those 5 reds surrounding the black, all in difficult positions. So he'll be trying to get the right side of the blue. And then you can see that he's thinking 3 shots ahead now. This red, the blue, and then position on the red to the left of the black.
Well, he must have observed that Judd Trump has gone out. Player, of course, he lost to in the Northern Ireland final a couple of weeks back. So if he were to win tonight, he's a big favourite to reach the final. Now, obviously, Trump was favourite to beat Lee Hang, so that's not counting him out. But it will be a huge occasion for Lee tomorrow to play this man in the semis.
What a positional shot that was, David. This red would only just go. Nothing wrong with the tip so far.
$25.
It was very narrow, that. Could have easily come too far.
26.
Didn't quite have the angle on the black to disturb those 3 reds, which is what he wanted to do.
34.
Red by the pink spot, you could see is available. The red to the right of the black is available to the left corner.
$39.
And seems to have found the pace of the table very quickly. Delighted with the tip. Now, does he go into them or play for that loose red to the right of the black? Choices is.
$45.
Could have been kinder, although he's having a look at the cut. It's extremely thin, but he could play to the baulk cushion and beyond the brown. Even better if he comes out of baulk.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 46.
It was never easy, and he knew he was leaving this red on. Brown's run safe, which could be important.
Ding's chance to strike back in this first frame. It's going to be an open game. It's going to come down to who plays that game better on the night.
Well, once again, he's got the chance here to go into those reds, develop them, because, yeah, he can play for that red directly above the black, but because the black doesn't go, this is an opportunity to free the black and the reds. Chance to play on the red.
6.
Great start on table 2 for Jamie Jones, who's found his way back onto the tour through the Q School. He's 2-0 up against Karen Wilson.
Yeah, you could see that the red goes to the left corner, the one nearest the blue. You could finish high on that red, slightly high. Could bring the black into play by playing a cannon, but I think he's come too far.
12.
So back down for the blue again.
30.
3 or 4 inches higher and you'd been able to play that cannon, and that's not the best shot he's ever played. Needed an angle to go into the reds.
Junhui, 80. Thank you.
Slight swerve around the green. Now, contingent, we see this red over the left corner. Covered it full ball. He's taking a risk here. He's taking a risk, although he's covered the pocket with black. Could be in for a bout of safety now.
Wow. Things you
Or not.
Yeah.
The black's
Or
gone
not.
in.
a chance at this red as well.
Wow.
What a chance. That wasn't too difficult, that red.
No, but it's still, of course, the first frame, and also they were made to wait, so if anything, the tension may be
One.
higher than it would have been normally. No sign of it there, though, from O'Sullivan.
Played it too well. Played it as a shot to nothing.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Never thought about the red. He was away off that one. Saving graces. He's put the pink safe now.
Well, definite signs of a bit of edginess, but also, you know, great respect, of course, between the two of them. Even though the record, head-to-head wise, massively favours O'Sullivan. He knows how good Ding is.
Now, does O'Sullivan want to bring that red off of the baulk cushion? I don't think so. But he's snookered on the other two. So might try and play the pot into the middle pocket here. As long as he hits that side of the red, like so, should be okay.
One.
Good pot. Excellent. I don't know what he's played there.
6.
Excellent pot that from Junhui to get in with, but when he's left the cue ball there, he wanted to be nearly straight on the red. So yeah, there is some nerves out there, and understandably so.
Junhui 6.
Yeah, Ding, in his defence, hasn't played much snooker on this table because O'Sullivan's played all his matches on it. So Ding maybe still getting to grips with it. (3-0 to Jamie Jones now against Kyron Wilson. So what a start for him, and what a story that would be if he were to win this tournament. Because at one point it looked like he might never play snooker again. He was suspended for breaching the betting rules, got back on through the Q school. Now he's 3-0 up in the quarterfinals of a ranking event. This feels like we've sort of just continued the last match, which got pretty dragged out between Judd Trump and Li Hang.
1.
Well, that was pretty good. Didn't quite have enough right-hand side on the cue ball to be the right side of the yellow.
Ronnie
It's got to be
O'Sullivan.
close if it misses the black.
Well, it's already been a long day and could yet be a long evening. It's first frame, 17 minutes, but a little yet to run yet, I would suggest.
Well, I don't know if he wants to risk it, but he could bring the pink and brown into play and screw the cue ball in behind the black. Okay, you don't know where the balls are going to go, but he needs the brown in play. Didn't want to risk it. Played it this time though. He's left a chance at the red. This long potting has been a long way off.
Well, that one certainly was.
Yeah, the one to this right corner pocket as well, but nowhere near it. Leave the red on, but he could be in trouble.
Just allowing the referee, Brendan Moore, to have a look here in case the white goes back.
Catch it full enough. So Ding Junhui with a great chance. He is going to need that pink.
He was a bit unlucky, wasn't he, when he tried to open them? The pink stayed on the cushion. He got the brown out. But it's going to play its part, as you say.
1. Six.
So by taking the blue, means he needs the black as well. If he potted the pink, O'Sullivan could tie.
Eight. Eleven.
wobbled. Just come a little too far. He was trying to leave himself this side of the blue to be able to move the pink, but because he nearly missed the brown, he's lost the white. Completely different shot now.
Well, at least now O'Sullivan also needs the pink.
Things Junhui 50.
So, a nervy start here.
Just what we like.
Well, I've only had 2 deciders already. You might as well have a third one.
No way to get to the pink from the blue, so I don't see the value in playing to pot it. Just caught it a little bit too thin. But once again, I'm not sure of the value of playing this blue. Especially if you knock the pink out.
Wow. Things Junhui 5.
Well, that's probably done him a favour, because had the cue ball stayed out of the pocket, he may well have took the blue on, and the pink's available now.
Wow.
At one point I thought he was going to angle him, but he dropped in.
It's a good attempt. It should be a relatively easy safety shot. On the top cushion behind the brown spot. Chance of getting in behind the black. Pink.
Where the pink is, it's looking like blue ball game. They both need blue and pink as it stands.
He's played it well this time. Got that blue on the cushion. And that's a pretty good safety. Pink a little bit more difficult now. It's a great attempt. Great attempt. He's happy with that. Looking at the potting angle, cue ball coming down towards the pink. Very dangerous. No attempt at the pot.
26-minute frame already. Just 1 point in it.
mistake. Now that pink just a little bit more difficult where it is. Wrong cushion. Is it the wrong cushion? He's left himself in a bit of trouble. If he plays this with a lot of topspin, the cue ball could go in the pocket. So he's got to be careful here.
Just shows though how significant it was when O'Sullivan playing that safety just knocked the pink to the cushion, because it's made this awkward. Would have been possible otherwise.
Junhui 5.
Well, Ronnie's going to get a chance.
Yeah, as we see this again, O'Sullivan's long potting has been a bit mixed so far in this opening frame. He needs pink and black here.
Wasn't far away that time. I'm surprised he didn't have a go at the pot there. He could have had a go at the pot and left the cue ball on the baulk cushion in case he missed it.
Six.
Yeah, he could be sorry he didn't have a go at that pot.
This time O'Sullivan knocks it in, and he's right behind the black to take a dramatic opening frame. 28.5 minutes.
13, first frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
And it goes. Well, it was an edgy old frame, wasn't it? But it's gone to the 6 times world champion. Ronnie O'Sullivan leads Junhui 1-0.
Thank you, the second frame.
Yeah, it's time to go
Ronnie
again for
O'Sullivan's
frame
break.
2. And the first was very dramatic. 1-0 it is to O'Sullivan. Came down to the pink and black. And after missing a few from distance, he potted the pink and was nicely on the black. I have to say, it didn't go in absolutely cleanly, but it went in, and he leads 1-0. Winner plays Li Hang, who of course has knocked out the world number 1, Judd Trump. Not the best break off though.
I brought that red down the table. Early chance for Ding Junhui.
1.
Yes, I've got to say that I was surprised that he didn't take the pink on in the last frame. And it did cost him. But it's as you see the shot down there. If you don't fancy it, well, difficult to play it.
Well, this is where he likes to be. He's a terrific break builder, 6 maximums to his name. Well over 500 centuries.
9.
Only his second home nations quarter-final, and his first was the last event, the Northern Ireland Open, where he lost to O'Sullivan. Prior to that, he'd really done nothing in the series over the years, for whatever reason.
$16. 17.
Aggressive shot. Opening the reds up. Developed another 6. Gone into them again,
24.
but not sure what kind of an angle he's got on the red to the right corner, because he's going to have to play it with the spider. That's okay, and he may not be able to reach that one.
$25.
Fourth black then, coming up.
He did say it had 6 maximums. It's a little bit behind Ronnie O'Sullivan though, who's had 15.
Well, everyone is behind him. He's way out in front on maximums and
32.
of course total centuries. We have had one this week, of course, Zhou Yulong.
$33.
Just straighter than he would have wanted. Difficult to get back to a red, to get back to the black. Get on the red, but not to be able to get back to the black.
40.
So 5 reds, 5 blacks, but this time going down for one of the bark colours probably.
41.
That's not the best kiss in the world. Gave that cue ball every chance of coming out to balk. Big shot. Nicely played. And nicely on the red.
43.
Yeah, and now he can just focus on trying to win the frame. There's no maximum, obviously, so just try and win the frame cleanly.
44.
It's a very good yellow, this from Ding Junhui. The length of the table, leaving a red on if he'd missed it. as David said at the very beginning, once he gets in around the pink and black, he's lethal.
66.
Don't tell me he's out of position there. He couldn't have found, he couldn't have picked it up and placed it any worse. Can't pot either of those reds. This is difficult. Still 75 left.
67.
Yeah, well played. Excellent shot.
Needs the black then, and O'Sullivan needs snookers.
Yeah, very good response this from
Well,
Junhui.
Just 6.5 minutes this frame.
74.
The first was 28.5, but this is the other side of it. Get in and make the breaks. It's what we
75.
were, not saying expecting, but maybe hoping for from these two. It's what they're capable of. And it'll settle Ding down after losing that lengthy opening frame on the black.
82.
Yeah, I think the academy is just another sign of his status now in the game. He's a source of great inspiration
83.
to, of course, Chinese players making their way. They all look up to him. It was 2005 when he won that China Open. The week he turned 18 in Beijing, beat Stephen Hendry in the final. That was the start of the
90.
Chinese snooker boom.
$91.
Seen that much of Ding in the tournament, but he has made 4 centuries on his way to the quarterfinals.
97. $100.
Lovely stuff.
101.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, you know, played a bad break-off. We keep talking about it, but this is what can happen.
Yes, it was exceptionally bad though, wasn't it? Bringing that red down the table.
108.
Left an easy starter. One bad shot.
110.
It's the 80th century of this Scottish Open. Still got whatever we have remaining this evening, plus, of course, 2 more days to go.
113. 170.
He's literally flying around the table.
122.
Finally, all the way around the table. For the black.
128.
Perfectly played.
Well, this is why the other players like watching him break build. It's been a wonderful contribution.
35
This.
in the front. Ding.
It's been a total clearance of 135 from Ding Junhui. So having lost the first frame on the black, he is hit back in some style, and this quarter-final is all square at 1 frame apiece. So 135, a total clearance
9.
from Junhui has emphatically got him on the scoreboard. And once he got in with the black free, he just fancied a big break. That yellow, though, was a big shot early on. He kept it going nicely
35
all the way to the final ball. One each, first to
Thank you,
5
the
will
third
play
frame.
Lee Hang. He beat Judd Trump in a
Junhui
decider. Mark Selby beat Ricky Walden in a decider. The other match, Jamie Jones leads Kyron Wilson currently 3-1 there at the interval. It will resume on the Eurosport app in due course.
And this time it's Ding Junhui who plays a poor break off. His long potting just isn't there. Probably due to the new tip that he's got on.
Partly due to it, but you can just miss as well. And he's just seen Ding make a total clearance, which, you know, puts him slightly on the back foot.
It's the previous shots as well, though. Worries me about the tip.
Well, he potted that long pink that he needed for the frame.
Yes, he did. Yep. Without that left-hand side on the cue ball, that was always going to be a double kiss. But he knew about it, and that's why he stuck that left-hand side on the cue ball. Pot. Not easy, though.
1.
That's more like it. That's more like it. Had the right amount of stun on the cue ball to get behind the black.
6. Ronnie O'Sullivan 6.
No.
Yeah, just have to touch those angles, the middle pockets, stay out.
Ding has got a sense and opportunity here this evening as we see the miss again. Could have won the first frame, has emphatically won the second, and has seen O'Sullivan go wrong very quickly in the third.
It's catching. Knew he was leaving this red above the black. Missed the pot. Cue balls going into the red, so no guarantee being on a colour.
1. Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Well, and now he is looking at the tip.
Well, like I say, you know, Ding has got a sense of big chance tonight. Regardless of the reason O'Sullivan's struggling, he's got to seize upon it. Martin Clark, we understand, the tournament director, put the new tip on last night. Former player himself, Martin.
Top 16 player.
Yeah.
Very good. I think one of his first matches he ever played beat Dennis Taylor 5-0, and I think Dennis was either world champion or close to it.
6. Seven.
Yeah, the other one in the tournament office who is renowned for it is Paul Collier, referee, but he's having a few days at home. Amazed that World Snooker have allowed that. Be back next week.
He's overrun it.
12.
It's okay, I think. Didn't want the cue ball to come that far. It's got away with it.
30. $20. 21.
Now he could play the cannon to the red directly above the black. But not ideally
28.
on the next red. Could have done with catching it half ball. Caught it full.
Junhui 28.
It was always on that far angle. So, chance for Ronnie O'Sullivan. An unexpected one, I'm sure.
Well, he's missed a couple in this frame, O'Sullivan, that he may felt would cost him. Certainly the
1.
pink, but comes back to the table. Only 21 in it.
$8.
All these reds covering one another. The red nearest the pink spot, to the right
9.
of the pink spot, will go into this same pocket.
$16. 17. $22. 23.
Still, they're all covering one another. Reds will go to the right middle. can play this knowing that he's not going to be leaving a red. Takes the pressure off the shot.
31.
Right in the middle. To hit it.
39.
He didn't really want to push the red to the cushion. This is where being able to
44.
play left-handed comes in. Just switches over. I was talking about it earlier.
45.
Yeah, the problem Elaine Robidoux had, it wasn't just that he was playing left-handed, he was playing really well left-handed. You know, if he was playing badly left-handed, he wouldn't have minded. So he's 31 in front.
52.
Red and a black, or a blue, and it's a snooker required.
53.
He just knocks them into the middle at that angle, at that speed. But so they're easy.
He's been led off the hook, though, hasn't he, in this frame?
He certainly has. And he'll be kicking himself, Ding Junhui. He had him.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well,
60.
it's one snooker. To tie, that is, a 4-point snooker. But a very swift 60, wasn't it? Really in a blink of an eye, that.
That's what they say. Blink and you'll miss him.
Yes, I mean, he's actually gone back to the top of the average shot time list in terms of the quickest on the circuit during this tournament. He is in one here, by the way.
Free ball if he misses this.
Yeah, Jamie Wilson, new pro, had been top, but Ronnie's gone back just under 18 seconds a shot, just ahead of Tepchar and Nu. So not slowing down as he gets older.
It's close. Just caught the red. Ding Junhui doesn't want to pot it. He needs the black off this red. Just got to be careful if you do miss it, you don't to leave the red on. Fortunate, just crept out. The balls are sitting nice for snookers up in that pork area. a chance here, caught it too thick.
One.
That's more like it. 4 out of 7 now for long pots. He's improving.
Well, I go back to what I said. Ding let him off the hook. He had a good chance, but didn't make too many from it. And this red going in confirms that it's O'Sullivan's frame.
7.
You made that 60 break before you knew where you were.
10.
You know, Ding needed a snooker. It was so quick.
And he doesn't seem to be
40.
walking round the table very quick. It's just his timing. You know, he's not rushing round the table. He's just in his own speed, but it's quick.
90.
Well, he's a player who generally sees the shot, plays the shot. Not a great deal of prevarication. Served him
25
well, hasn't it,
on the
for the last 30 years.
Yeah, sure.
And he's won this frame. As I say, Ding definitely had a chance, but broke down. O'Sullivan made the 60. O'Sullivan leads 2-1. Now in the other quarter-final, Karen Wilson is in trouble. 3-1 down to Jamie Jones. It was 3-0. Wilson won the fourth, a back out after the interval, and it's live on the Eurosport app. On table 1, Ronnie O'Sullivan leads Ding Junhui 2-1.
4.
This is the last frame before
Ronnie
the interval.
O'Sullivan to break.
least he didn't leave anything on the break-off this time, which happened, of course, in frame 2. Big made a 135.
Good job he didn't hit it just a fraction harder. Pushing that red towards the left corner.
Just to say, whoever wins, they'll be playing tomorrow afternoon against Lee Hang, and the evening match features Mark Selby against either Karen Wilson or Jamie Jones. Of course, it's best of 11 tomorrow.
Game just caught it a little bit too thin. He's left an opportunity. His long potting has improved.
1.
Nicely played. Coming round perfectly onto the blue. Probably play down for the red nearest the pocket. Easy to get to the black from that red. But he could go into them, depending on how he's feeling.
Six. Seven. $40.
He's still got another red he could play for after this red, but
15.
doing a little angle here on the black. A little straighter would have been better. He could have played the cannon to the red above and to the left of the black.
$22.
Well worked out, little cannon there.
$23.
This time, very awkward. Never sure when the cue ball's going to go when you're playing it with topspin. Trying to force it through the reds. And he's got to play this at pace. Oh, nicely played. He had to play it at pace to get to this red to the left corner. And what a shot that was. The black was tough enough, but to manoeuvre the cue ball to that position.
$31.
Drawing the cue ball through the reds, developing the pink. This is the black again. I mean, look how close it was to the cushion. And how he got that cue ball round the two cushions for that red. Some pot and position that. It's got reds to both corners here. Possibly the middle. He's
37.
developing these reds nicely.
$38.
Didn't quite catch the reds as he wanted.
Ronnie O'Sullivan. 38. 38.
Nearly bit it off, but you can't play without a tip.
Touching ball.
Getting the cue ball dead. He's forced Ding just to roll into the reds again. Gradually. Spread a little. Hiding that red in the balk area with the blue. Just wonder if you can swerve round the blue and hit the red from behind. Got him too well. This looks like a free go. This to the red to the left corner, stay on the black. This goes right. Could be a frame winner.
1.
A pot. Didn't really get on the black as he intended.
Green ball. Junhui. 1.
Using the blue to cut off the easy side. Getting back to the balk. He's played that well. He's played that very well. From dead on the cushion, he had to catch that red so thin. Too thick. That's why the reds come down the table. So another chance for Ding Junhui. 37 points behind, but the score really doesn't mean anything between these guys. You get in, you're expecting to pot them all.
Sullivan living every moment.
1.
Yeah, I mean, Ding has had a lot of chances. He's actually, if you look at the stats, he's potted more balls even. But he's still trailing. This is a chance to get back into this fourth frame.
He's overhitting. Can still pot the red, but would have liked to have been straighter on it, get to the black. That's where the business starts.
5.
Now the next red from there, it's not going to be easy. If you could land somewhere round about there. Well, that would be a bonus if the red below the pink goes to the left corner.
Eight.
Can he see enough of it? I don't think he can.
Junhui. 8.
No, couldn't see enough of it. And that's all he could do. He couldn't get back down the table. The blue was in the way.
It's Another example, though, of O'Sullivan making a mistake and Ding not making much from it. One thing Ronnie's done really well though all week, and he did it in Northern Ireland, or at the Northern Ireland Open as well, just competed really well.
Yeah, he's fought hard.
Did it at the Crucible, of course, where you have to.
It's a new dimension of his game, isn't it? Where he's really fought hard in recent years. His safety has improved, his patience has improved. He's tried to win games.
Yes, he seems to be finding a certain satisfaction from the graft of getting the win. There's different ways you can win a match. Sometimes it's all big breaks and it's all fantastic. Other times it's not. And you really have to roll your sleeves up.
Showed us the other side of the game, hasn't he? With that 135 break. How easy he can make it look. Now he's showing us how he can play the safety in a game judged to perfection. Long red to the left corner is fraught with danger.
One.
That's a great shot. It really was a great shot. Just overrun with his position for the pink. Nice. Pot and cannon. What a terrific red it was to get in with.
One.
Look at this. Full length of the table.
7.
Just stroked it in as easy as you please.
So once again, it's in his hands to try and level up.
8.
Yeah, he's going to need that awkward red above the black. So I'd suggest playing the black at some stage. If you can leave an angle on this next red to drop in behind the black. And that looks just about right. That then clears the way for the red to go into this left corner.
$14.
It's good thinking that by Ding Junhui.
$21. $22.
Well, he hasn't come far enough, so may have to play for that red on the cushion this time round. Unless he's got the angle to remove it from the side cushion. Did, but it didn't fall nice for him.
29.
Now, does it go past the blue?
$30.
Yes, it does. And perfectly onto the blue to get to this last red.
Oh, what a great pot that was. All about position now.
In two great pots in this break. The opening red was an absolute belter.
Yeah, and this was another one.
35.
Points level at this stage. Key moment of the frame of the whole match. Because Ding's ahead on all the stats, but he's trying to level up the match. That's the important stat, the frame score.
Ding Junhui.
That
No.
is not in.
35.
It's never going in.
No, it was never in. He gave it every chance to drop by playing it slowly, but
So Ronnie O'Sullivan despite what all the stats say, has a chance to
One.
lead by 2 at the interval.
And it's against the run of play, isn't it, really?
It is, but regardless of sort of pot success and all that, it's about the balls you miss. And if you leave them, as he has done, it's going to cost you.
8.
He's had chances, so many. This was another one.
10.
It was a pressure ball, there's no doubt about that. It should cost him a 2-frame gap rather than level.
30.
Well, he made that excellent 135 ding in frame 2, but otherwise, the chances he has had, he hasn't taken. Started in the first frame, which he also could have won. O'Sullivan needs the blue for a 2-frame lead.
22.
I don't think anyone would say Ronnie O'Sullivan is at his best tonight so far, but he's ahead in the match, that's all that matters.
28.
And he's 2 frames from the semi-finals of this Scottish Open.
35
A lot
and
for
the
Dick
20.
to think about,
Ronnie
therefore,
O'Sullivan, 15 minutes.
as they head to the interval. It's Ronnie O'Sullivan in early control. He leads Ding Junhui at the mid-session interval by 3 frames to 1.
Good evening. Yeah, welcome back to the Marshall Arena. Coming up, the second half of Ronnie O'Sullivan against Ding Junhui for the right to play Li Hang, conqueror of Judd Trump. Thank you.
Frame 5. Ding Junhui to break.
So Ronnie O'Sullivan playing with his third tip of the week. Leads Ding Junhui 3-1. He's 2 frames away from the Scottish Open semi-finals and a meeting with the man who knocked out Judd Trump earlier on, Lee Hang. O'Sullivan certainly showing signs once again during that quartet of frames that he's not thrilled with the way his tip is behaving, but he's won 3 of the 4 frames. Ding might be wondering how. Of course, he knocked in the best break of the evening, a 1-3-5, but missing that red along the top rail just before the interval proved expensive. And so he's got quite a lot of work to do now in this, their 15th meeting. O'Sullivan has won 10 of the previous 14, of course, including at the Northern Ireland Open quarterfinals, the same stage just a couple of weeks ago when Ding started well, led 2-0, had chances for 3-1, ended up losing 5 on the bounce.
1.
But straight away in with a chance, and he couldn't have cued that much better.
Yeah, hit it well, but he's actually landed in between a few shots. But you're right, it was one of his better strikes. Not the sort of shot you really associate with Ding. He's finished. It only just passes the red.
Ding Junhui 1.
Annoyed he was nowhere near it, was he? Unlucky to finish there, but he didn't get particularly close to the blue in the end.
They've got to go in, really, when you're 3-1 down to O'Sullivan in a race to 5.
1.
O'Sullivan has, on 3 previous occasions in this tournament, reached the quarterfinals, but not gone further than that. He is, of course, a Home Nations winner, not only just wriggled in the English Open
8.
in the second year of the series, when he demolished Kyron Wilson in the final for the loss of only 2 frames.
9.
And 3 years running, of course, he's been runner-up to Judd Trump at the Northern Ireland Open. It's been a mixed bag from O'Sullivan this week, hasn't it? He started
16.
after a slightly shaky opening against Alan Taylor with some blistering snooker, not least that 1-2-7 break, among the finest centuries you'll see. Made a 1-3-4 against Chang Bing Yu. Since then, it's been scratchier. Tip has played its part, but he's still getting the job done.
Yes, he's not happy, I don't think, with
24.
Tip. Whatever he puts on there doesn't seem to please him at the moment, but like you say, he's able to improvise pretty well, I'd say. He's nowhere near his best right now. Of course, the other thing to say, there's no getting away from it. The man I would say he fears most in snooker has just gone out this afternoon, Judd Trump. And Judd has got a good record against Ronnie. So that's one less for him to worry about. Not saying Lee Hang, if he was to win, would be an easy game, but it's definitely easier than playing Judd again. That's just the way it is.
24.
I mean, this match is not over yet.
And having made his first ever Home Nations quarter-final in the Northern Ireland Open, Ding, he immediately repeats the trick after what was a modest record in this series prior to that. He came from 3-1 down in the previous round to beat Jamie O'Neill. And he do it against O'Sullivan, though.
1.
And he wanted to get a fuller contact on one of them, not half and half of both.
Blue ball.
I think with O'Sullivan is he's one of the great front runners, isn't he, you've ever known at snooker. I can only really, I mean, obviously he's lost matches from the front, but the Masters final against Paul Hunter is probably the only one that stands out for me. He goes a long way ahead against a player, he invariably wins it.
1.
Very good red from Ding. Yes, exactly, and it's hard to see Ding winning 4 on the bounce, so this frame is a must-win, you would think, for him. Showing his cue power after the interval.
4.
A sweet strike.
Safe to say the tournament's opening up though, isn't it? Because the fact that it's 4-1. Jamie Jones, and as I look across the other table, he's in again there. They're really happening for players this week. Lee Hanger's had some success already. So what we thought would be a semi-final, anyone guaranteed to be sitting pretty of the big hitters is
12.
Mark Selby at this stage.
Just the 1/2 century so far tonight from Kyron Wilson, who's been in a rich vein of form himself. 3 from Jamie Jones in taking that 4-1 lead. Sullivan continues to look less than serene.
30.
For sheer quality, the Selby-Walden quarter-final, undoubtedly the best of the day so far. They both played really well in the end after a slightly scrappy opening frame.
20.
Selby, of course, defending his title. Become only the second player after Trump to successfully defend in the home nations.
21.
That's big passenger play this for Ding Junhui. As we say, he needs to take what's on in the middle of the table, get himself close to the winning line in the frame. Need a couple
28.
of other balls. Well, certainly one of the safer reds, but that's a little bit further down the line.
$29.
Once again, showing a lot of cue power, which again is something, as I said earlier, you don't really think about with Ding.
He has only had 4 wins over O'Sullivan, but 3 of them very significant. Of course, he won the Northern Ireland Trophy, a ranking event back in the mid-noughties, beating O'Sullivan in the final. The really big one, I think, was to beat him over 3 sessions at the Crucible, having taken some pretty fearful hammerings from O'Sullivan. 13-10 in 2017. And then, of course, he beat him on his way to his 3rd UK title last season. So the victories he has had have been
30.
landmark ones. He's only just struggled in.
$40.
You're just looking to see if that red go past the pink. Looks like they're almost tied up. Certainly looking at something.
$41.
Oh, got a kick. Definitely a kick. Dear me. That is frustrating.
You heard the dull thud of cue ball on red. Took all the pace out of the cue ball.
Finished nowhere as well because of that. Cue ball just completely stopped dead. He's accumulating points nicely there. Playing behind the brown now. If he's got the, can get a wide enough angle off this.
Ding Junhui. 41.
Tried.
That's unfortunate. We've seen a bit of that of late, the ticker tape, which would have been a hangover from the UK final. O'Sullivan's top break tonight, just 60, which helped him move 2-1 in front. What a victory for Jamie Jones, a surprise result, certainly surprising in terms of the lopsided nature of the score. He's beaten Kyron Wilson 5-1, so it's going to be Mark Selby against Jamie Jones in our second semi-final tomorrow night.
1.
It's such a big frame, isn't it? If Ding were to take it 3-2, he's right back in the match. If O'Sullivan wins it,
5.
not quite nailed on, but not far off, you would think.
Yeah, he's looked at the scores. It's a question of whether he can actually get the frame one before the blue is needed. I'm trying to work it out myself. I'm not sure he can. No, I don't think he can actually. Beg your pardon. Just
Sullivan, 5.
missing those is none of it really matters, is it? If you miss that. But clearly Ding will not need the blue in his 12-point lead.
Cuba.
O'Sullivan continuing to show frustration. As we know, he's a perfectionist. The fact that he's leading
Sullivan, 5.
will not be of entire consolation to him, and there's the evidence.
I'll be honest with you, he isn't playing very well, is he? And he hasn't played well all week. He's still here, and he's 3-1 up against Ding Junhui. But his highest break on the night is 60. Ding's made a 135. Ronnie isn't really scoring. I don't know how he's getting through these matches.
1.
It's like he's playing from memory at the moment.
He was certainly let off the hook a bit against Tian Peng Fei. That one went to a decider. So he's going to need the yellow, the green and the brown to get back into the match.
Tell you what, you wouldn't want a difficult shot on the brown for it is. You'd want to be right behind that, dropping it in.
6.
Seen a few balls missed to the ball pockets. Have stayed right over the pocket. This time he'll be playing. The pocket closes to O'Sullivan on that side. Ronnie looks. I've seen him look more enthusiastic than he does right now, to be honest, out there. So he doesn't have to play on the blue, crucially.
And in it goes, and it was clean. So another scratchy frame, mistakes on both sides, but crucially it would appear, barring snookers,
Ding Junhui, 30.
Ding Junhui has won it to close the gap. 25 the difference. So 2 needed on the blue. Still O'Sullivan gesturing to bite his latest tip-off, tip number 3.
What I think about that is that you put a tip on and you can't, you very rarely can get to lucky straight away. It could be these tips would be okay if you had a week to knock them in, because you're looking for a quick fix, aren't you? A tip that immediately feels good.
5.
I don't think that's what he's got. Anyway, this frame is over.
Yes. Yes, sir. 5. And the frame. Ding Junhui.
And Ronnie O'Sullivan has conceded, so the match is back in the balance. O'Sullivan continues to struggle. He doesn't look happy. Ding isn't playing brilliantly, but he's close to 3-2 behind. So Ding Junhui back in the picture, having potted frame ball brown to close to 3-2 behind. But here is Jamie Jones completing a fine win over Kyron Wilson, who concedes after missing the red. Not just a victory, but a resounding one for Jones. 5-1 over this season's Championship League winner. So he will now play Mark Selby, defending Scottish Open champion, tomorrow evening for a place in the final. What a comeback for Jones after his ban.
Frame 6. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Certainly making the most of his return to the tour. For Ronnie O'Sullivan, well, clearly not happy with the state of his game, but still in front, albeit now by just the odd frame. He still needs 2 for a place in the last 4 and a meeting with Li Hang, conqueror earlier of Judd Trump.
If the red has got an angle to get on the black, it's
1.
a chance this. Black goes. Yeah. Just what O'Sullivan needed, something early in the frame. Now he's got the black free, and this is where I think he could probably make
8.
a break with a tip on his cue at all when he's in amongst them.
Foul. I'm going to check that. I will check it because it looked like it flicked the black. I am going to ask him to check it. It just looked like it got the black first.
No.
In my opinion, that was...
Impossible.
Then you can check it on that.
No, I agree with Ronnie. Anyway, Brendan Moore's asking for it to be checked, but I don't think in a million years that was a foul, personally. I agree with Ronnie.
Yeah, clearly O'Sullivan emphatically believes it wasn't. Brendan Moore's going to have a look.
Can you do once more?
No foul.
You just do it.
100% legal shot, in my opinion.
You couldn't play it again, could you?
Well, I didn't... I'm surprised by this. Brendan Moore's top referee.
No, I haven't commentated because you've done anything with it.
That's not simultaneous or anything.
Now I've seen it. I'm okay with it, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I wanted to check it. If I'm not 100% sure,
Sure now?
I am now. I've seen it on there, but I wanted to check it.
Well, that's
9.
clearly not improved O'Sullivan's mood. Brendan Moore, on reviewing the video evidence, agreeing with O'Sullivan that, of course, it was red first. So on we go.
The point is the referee can only call what he sees. If he thought it was a foul, fair enough. But on replay, it's pretty apparent that it wasn't a foul of any kind. It was just a sort of fairly
16.
regulation shot. Anyway, we'll move on.
Seventy. $24. 25. 32. 33.
It would just be like O'Sullivan now to make a maximum, wouldn't it, after that?
Well, he stated that it had affected his concentration, but no one wants to see anyone put off by something that is not their fault. And he seems to have regrouped pretty quickly. No,
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 40.
that one was always at the top jaw. Pity that, because he had a bit of hope, didn't it? That would have been an unusual maximum, wouldn't it, with an intervention halfway through. Anyway, the frame's not one.
We've had one already, of course, this week. Joe Long, the 7th of the season.
1.
The other thing about that, I'll say, if Ronnie had missed the next ball, then he could blame it on what happened. But the fact that he potted about 5 or 6 afterwards, or whatever it was, you can't really hold it against the referee anymore.
Point is that 40-point lead may not count for much, given the position. The remaining
6.
balls, this is a good chance for Ding to at least get right back in the frame, if not win it.
7. 14.
Thing is that Ding is very experienced and he should be able to read the signs here. We know his record against O'Sullivan is not great. He's beaten him in big events, but he's not beaten him as many times he's lost to him. And he's never going to get a result.
50.
He should be aware that tonight is one of those nights. He's there for the taking. It's just that not many people are able to deliver the blow.
A 20th meeting, remember. Ding has won just 4. That's not gone to plan.
20. Junhui.
Either
20.
player for various different reasons, particularly happy with the way things are going this evening. Neither are hanging around either. O'Sullivan playing at well under 17 seconds a shot, Ding just over 20. Now that's a terrific pot. That really is a good pot to get O'Sullivan right back in.
A brilliant shot. Can you think that the fake applause machine must have jammed or something, because that was as good as it gets actually, especially with the positional side.
It's one area of his game that has impressed this evening. 8 out of 11 from long range for O'Sullivan. That's outstanding. It's given him a gilt-edged chance to go
16.
2 up with 3 to play.
17. Thank you. 24.
So on the brink of a frame that could have gone against him. He broke down on 40, left the red over the pocket. Could have been costly.
25.
Off of the cheeks, not the right angle on the blue. A bit further up. Can't miss blue, followed by the next red down. But he's now the wrong side of it. Pink makes it 51 in it. That's the other thing to say. Only tie. Very restless O'Sullivan, is he, tonight? Puffing and puffing. Bit fidgety out there as well.
All things considered, it really is a surprise that he's on the cusp of
31.
4-2 lead. But he only needs this red to make it happen. Go 52 in front with only 43 there.
32.
This frame is over, and Ding is going to have to win the last 3 to deprive Ronnie O'Sullivan a place in his 78th ranking semi-final.
37.
Not impossible, but a tough ask.
38. 45. 46. 49.
And it was a great
51.
red that O'Sullivan got him with to the left corner, struck it so sweetly.
$54. 58.
It bears a repeat viewing, doesn't it? Superb.
63.
Well, it was a clever shot as well, because if you look at the table, you know, when he played it, had he missed it, he could only left that red. And it offered so much potential with the black being
69
there.
and the frame.
It was a great way to win the frame, wasn't it?
Doesn't bother with the black. His highest break of the evening. 69, modest by O'Sullivan standards, but enough to win him his 4th frame and put him with 1 of victory. Ronnie O'Sullivan still looking less than enthused about the way things are going, but 4-2 up nonetheless now against Junhui, 1 away from a place in the semis, but this was an eventful moment. Brendan Moore thinking initially that O'Sullivan had touched the black first. O'Sullivan adamant he hadn't, and he was proved to be correct. But of course Brendan's entitled to check if he's not sure. Anyway, in the end, O'Sullivan carved out his best break of the night, 69. And perhaps if he was happier, generally speaking, with the state of his game right now, and indeed the state of his 3rd tip of the tournament, he wouldn't have been as frustrated by that little break in play. Anyway, he needs 1, Ding Junhui needs 3 on the bounce. Li Hang, I should say, awaiting the winner after his shock victory earlier over Judd Trump. What a battle that proved to be. But what a great win for Li. Yet another final frame deciding victory for him. His 4th of the week in 5 matches. And of course, to do it all over again tomorrow against one of these two players. It's not going to get any easier for the Chinese, but it was a really dogged and impressive all-round display today, albeit that he did struggle to get over the line.
The cue ball's just run, I think, slightly beyond the place where it's behind the green. Sullivan can get to the red, and the black goes, but it will be a big shot to take it on and play on the black. Absolutely dead straight as well. This would be a real test of his cueing.
One.
Oh, that's great, isn't it? That's very good. The black's not much easier, I will say, especially from right underneath the cushion rail. Look at that.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Not an easy shot. He's missed a few to that bottom jaw. Very in and out, O'Sullivan, isn't he? His form is very sporadic. If he's a racehorse, you say, running in snatches, and just every now and then he does something good and then follows it up with something not very good.
I guess the last two shots are O'Sullivan's tournament in microcosm. A terrific long red, but then missing the black. Yes, it wasn't easy because he was queuing from tight to the rail, but it has been very in and out from O'Sullivan throughout the week. But the fact remains, he's one frame away from a 78th ranking semi-final. Someone's still got to beat him. Ding's got a lot to do to make that happen, but back in here.
The man who prides himself on his cue ball control as much as O'Sullivan, and he's got nowhere near his position there.
And it may be that Ding's concentration has been somewhat affected by the fact that O'Sullivan is struggling a bit. Can happen, of course. One player drags the other down a bit. Becomes a bit of a downward spiral. Equally, if one suddenly hits the heights, the other could well follow suit.
That is true, Philip, but the great players I've seen set their own standards. O'Sullivan isn't often dragged down by players. You know, when he's playing well, it's all about him, as it should be. I think the eras of Davis and Hendry, it was all about their standard, and it didn't matter what the other person was doing. So if he is being dragged down, something he's got to sort out, because this is a great chance for Ding Junhui. You don't want to play Ronnie when he's playing well. More chance when he's playing bad.
First 3 rounds for Ding were very straightforward. 2 whitewashes over Mark Davis and Martin O'Donnell. In between, he beat Andy Hicks 4-2. As I mentioned, he had to come from 2 down with 3 to play to beat Jamie O'Neill, but to do it against O'Sullivan, it's a different proposition, even allowing for the fact that Ronnie is not firing.
think that Ding has given up the ghost here at all. I think he's still trying his best to win, you know. Occasionally he loses heart. He's still playing all the right shots. He's just not able to execute them as he'd like. And we know he's played some good snooker this week. Martin O'Donnell, who he beat, said that no one's ever played as well against him as Ding. He just scored every frame. Frame-winning breaks all the way through. But he's stringing the performances together he's finding difficult at the moment.
Last year's UK Championship was very much the exception to the recent rule for Ding, wasn't it? And part of the reason he played so well in that tournament at the end of it, beating Stephen Maguire, who also played well in the final, was the victory over O'Sullivan a couple of rounds previously, which I think gave him that added bit of confidence that had been lacking. But since then, his form once again has been largely indifferent.
Quite a good containing shot there from O'Sullivan. The double kiss was close.
Yes, Jimmy and Andy were discussing the physics surrounding that shot during the mid-session interval, the dump shot as it's called, leaving the cue ball on the top cushion, which apparently is not playable when it's dead straight without getting the double kiss. Sullivan in the background there, just to the right of Mark Selby, celebrating that superb victory at the English Open. 11 frames of that final, I think he missed 5 live balls. See anything approaching that level of consistency this week so far. Yet he's still bearing down on another semi-final, and that's another mistake from Ding.
Ding is giving him too many chances here now. That was a safety attempt and he just hit the red full ball on the way back. An easy start of this, very thin with the rest. The other side of the shot, wasn't it? Cue ball was never going anywhere any good. Now he might be forced into a long blue, and he has been knocking these in. This was the kind of shot when he first turned professional. He was just rescuing breaks so much time, so many times with these. Oh, there you go, he's missed it by a mile. I've never seen him miss one of those by as far as that. He's all over the place, you know. He might be 4-2 up, but he's all over the place, O'Sullivan. Demeanour's not good. Fidgety, he's everything wrong, and yet you might still win this match. Look at that.
1.
Playing from memory.
Five.
is if the red, bottom red of the two, is if it goes, if it was to pot, he would clear the black, I guess. Black's going to have to go on its spot. She's going to tie the reds up otherwise. So you cannon them here. Bottom one must go, I suppose. Oh, it's a bit cramped in that little area, isn't it?
12.
Time.
13.
Nicely done, though. Cleverly played.
$20. 21.
For all that he's struggling as well, he's played 3 or 4 little gems in a row here to get the black spot free when it looked impossible to get it free. Yet he made a delightful 135 break earlier in this match. About all he has done.
28.
Yes, his next highest break, 41, which helped win him the 5th frame.
29.
Recovery. It's a mileage in this match, you know. The way O'Sullivan is, this could go all the way.
$32. 33.
Loose one. We'll need to do something with the 4 reds in the middle of the table to get the frame win. Nice. Now here's an angle. Might play the cannon on the right hand red of the 4. That'll bring the other red into play. When he's right, this would be a typical ding shot, this. Nearly missed the pot. I think that's why he didn't get the cannon.
44.
Because he hit the black a little bit on the thick side. Now it's going to have to be a plant, but definitely played the cannon on that right red.
In front, 67 left.
Not an easy plant, this.
Junhui, 44.
Frame's not won, but he's gone quite a long way to winning it. Well, how about that for a nudge? The pink open, 3 reds open. Ding will be grateful that the blue and red are locked out.
$7.
So the yellow and brown are a little close together if he was at any point on the brink of clearing up.
8. 15. 60.
Now, what's the plan here for the red and the blue close together?
23. 24.
Doesn't want to be straight on this. If he's got no chance, if it is, argument here, is it even worth going for a pot? Might be inclined. He's thinking about just dropping him behind. I think I might.
So 24.
Playing some good there. You can hard to argue with that shot the way he's played it, mind you. I thought he might try and free the yellow and brown, so the yellow's potable, and get a snooker that way. Because he might still have the problem of potting the yellow. I'm not sure it's on where it is. Mind you, the snooker is in is no fun. Ding's going to have to go all the way around the table to hit this.
Foul and a miss.
It's pretty close. He could play the snooker behind blue again. I can't see what's wrong with the snooker that he had him in. This one is possibly even more difficult now, saying that.
O'Sullivan's made it crystal clear in recent times that he's not a fan of the miss rule.
But look what he's put him in here. I mean, he's the cue ball and the blue are wedged. I don't see how he can play off that cushion. Straight into the cushion.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4. Free ball. Bramble.
Well, this frame is turning around. O'Sullivan looked big second favourite a few minutes ago, less so now.
Now he's freed yellow and brown. That's what he could have done earlier, but those two snookers he got him in, that last one, that was vile.
He's got him behind the pink.
What a crazy game snooker is sometimes.
Foul.
Balls are flying around all over the place, aren't they?
Well, O'Sullivan nearly fluked the red and has now seen the cue ball go in via the middle pocket jaw, so it is all happening.
This frame has just descended into balls being just whacked around the table. Some very clever shots, but a few glaring errors as well.
Dings lead with 35 left. Unbelievable.
What is going on?
Like watching Groundhog Day. Without the humour.
Goodness me. I don't know what's going on here. Ronnie's hit that as hard as he could, and somehow the blue didn't move. That's the other thing about that last shot. How did he not hit the blue?
Looks like he's covered the potting angle too. Tony, well, maybe can he get through to it?
They can't bolt it, don't think.
Just a red and a high value colour away from O'Sullivan needing a snooker.
Now what? Snooker behind the black, you'd think, but I'm sure anything could happen here. Made some very good ones, but they haven't amounted to anything.
been a distinctly frenetic feel about this particular frame as yet more ticker tape falls down from the sky. Neither player look in the mood to celebrate at the moment. And that's a big mistake from O'Sullivan. So here's another chance for Ding to close to within one again and keep this match alive.
One.
And that should do it. The black to put him 30 in front with 27 on.
Eight. Ten. $13.
I guess the plot thickens. Odd things happened in that frame. I suppose the memorable bit would have been the break that Ding made. 44 is what it was, but
22.
basically that's what's won in the frame. All the other stuff was mind-blowing at times. The
28.
snookers they gave to each other.
So Ding still very much in this
35
match.
for
Ronnie O'Sullivan
Ding.
still playing well below par. He still needs one. Ding Junhui now needs two. This match remains in the balance. O'Sullivan leading 4-3.
Thank you, frame 8.
Is someone going to
Ronnie
take this
O'Sullivan.
match by the scruff of the neck and book their place in the Scottish Open semi-finals and a meeting with China's Li Hang, who earlier stunned Judd Trump, to win in a decider? Can Ding force a decider here now? Know that the other semi-final will see Mark Selby taking on Jamie Jones, who defeated Kyron Wilson for the loss of only 1 frame as O'Sullivan crashes into the blue on the break-off.
One. Four.
Saw a bird's eye view of O'Sullivan's error with the break-off. This is the more conventional angle.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't hit the blue, they say. Not only does it give your opponent a chance, the blue
5.
sometimes gets put safe. No one really wants that at the start of a frame. He's always been such a great exponent of getting the bunch open. This was how it should be done. What a shot.
$28.
This is their 20th meeting, remember. Amazingly, there's only ever been 1 deciding frame match between them. It's the 2013 Champion of Champions quarter-final, which O'Sullivan won 6-5.
29.
Could well be headed that way here.
Yeah, I'd like to see it now. Anything could happen in that frame, the way this night has gone.
$35.
Thing has never been to a home nation semi-final. This is only his second
36.
quarter-final. Back-to-back home nations events.
He has been in no show, hasn't he, in more ways than one at these events.
43.
Sometimes he's turned up and looks like he wish he hadn't bothered. No, occasionally he hasn't entered them at all. No, it's good to see him competing
44.
again. I think that's what he needs. A lot to offer the game still. Sometimes I think you need to go back to basics. The year that he
51.
got to the world final, of course, he had to qualify, breathe through the qualifiers, so it almost helped him. Here he is,
52.
grinding it out, mostly on outside tables this week until tonight. Playing some not bad snooker, still making the odd mistake, but the magic is in there somewhere, as we've seen.
He's been a pro 17 years now, which feels like a career in itself, but he's still only 33.
59.
2 years older than Judd Trump. Time is very much on his side.
60.
Just get the feeling with Ding, it's how much he wants it on a daily basis. Is he an ambassador for the game, or is he still potential champion of the world? I don't know the answer to that. I'm enjoying watching this break.
Well, he opened
67.
his state-of-the-art academy in Sheffield, just a stone's throw from the Crucible Theatre earlier this year.
68.
Only to hone his skills on the practice table, but to help the younger players from China to improve their game. Facilities that come pretty close to
75.
replicating match conditions. It really is a 5-star facility.
76.
That would certainly suggest that Ding still means business, and of course he's still eyeing that elusive first World Championship, which would be such a huge deal for snooker globally. The way he played it the UK Championship last season suggested it's still very much within his grasp. Since then,
78.
his form has tailed off again, but maybe this week is going to be his. O'Sullivan continues to look thoroughly exasperated. He's worn that look pretty much from the get-go tonight.
79.
When he was in front, which he still is, but only for a few more moments.
$85. 86. 93.
You probably move the other red here, I think. Pulling this one, move it out into an open area.
94.
What a break this has been. At last, we're seeing a bit more consistency from Ding. In a frame that, ever since O'Sullivan's bad break off, dominated. And probably
96.
makes 2 centuries on the night.
Yeah, he's certainly
97.
dominating the stats wherever you look, whether it be safety, pot success, highest breaks.
He's playing quickly as well. Seems to be running around the table almost. He's done it all the way through. Maybe that's his new way of just getting on with the game. This frame is just 7 minutes old. It's been one for
102.
quite a while. I don't think I've seen Ding playing at quite this pace before. Whether he can play like that in a decider, we might
105.
find out shortly. We're going all the way. That'd be great.
It's under 20 seconds a shot.
109.
And if momentum counts for anything, then Ding would be the favourite going into the decider. But with
114.
O'Sullivan, you just never know. Either way, it's going to be the third of our quarter-finals to go the distance.
Ding Junhui. 114.
Very
And
different one to the two we saw earlier today. But it's going to need a ninth and deciding frame to determine who plays Li Hang for a place in the final of the Scottish Open. It's 4 frames all. 20th
deciding
meeting
frame.
between Ronnie O'Sullivan and Ding Junhui, but only the second time they've needed a deciding frame to determine who will prevail. Ding winning back-to-back frames to take us all the way. Two centuries from him. Highest break of just 69 from O'Sullivan. Gonna pull something out from nowhere in this most important of frames. Well, that's a good start, firing in a long red.
Yeah, he's got to play safe here though.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, one.
People just run into a place where really he couldn't do anything. Feeling this could be a nervy frame. Don't always get fluency in the decider, as we know, and both players seem to have their own issues going on.
Foul. Ding Junhui, 4.
Continues, all kinds of things are happening out there. Ronnie's now listening to see what sound noise his tip is making.
Foul.
None, I hope. Have to be a little careful on this shot if he goes for it. Cue might heading towards the black and the couple of reds unless he plays it with pace and screw.
1.
Never a clue where they were going to finish. It wriggled through there onto the yellow. That is lucky.
Three. Four.
The question is, does the pink go on its spot? I think it's just above it at the moment. If not, he'll have to go in there somewhere. I think it'll be tied up. Black's obviously safe as well, so even though it looks a good chance, it isn't necessarily one yet.
Thank you. 10. Eleven.
He wanted to do some damage there amongst the reds and the high value colours. Could be here.
Shaking his head after practically every shot.
He's got an angle on this blue to do just about whatever he wants. Well, he's not going to
16.
shake his head after that shot. Worked out pretty well. Very well.
17.
Suddenly, this is looking a little bit bleak for Ding.
23. $29.
know that he's the greatest, really, and the situations like this, but you also know that right now there could be a miss in him somewhere that you don't expect. It's been like that all week. Don't get me wrong, he's as likely to clear up as anybody in the game.
36.
But it's unpredictable watching him right now, so I'm not banking on anything.
If anything's going to focus the mind, though, it's a chance like this. 78th ranking semi-final appearance beckons. And a chance to improve on his record-breaking tally this weekend of 37 ranking titles.
Just getting a little bit more tricky from here as he gets reds into play.
44.
May have been an expectation at the start of play that we were headed for another Trump-O'Sullivan showdown. We know that's not going to happen. Trump bowing out to Li Hang.
50.
Afternoon epic. O'Sullivan going to ultimately keep his side of the bargain.
Ronnie O'Sullivan. 50.
Well, there's your answer. Not for now. Wow.
Well, he was doing something there, Philip. He was trying to move the red. That was, I think, divided concentration. That's the point I was making, that there is a miss in him all the time right now. I don't see that changing this weekend, even if he wins tonight.
So a reprieve for Ding Junhui. He must have thought he might have played his last shot of the tournament. As it is, he's 47 behind, but there are still 75 left.
Oh, that is an incredibly good shot. Wow, I mean, he was hiding the cue ball okay on the left side. What a pot. There's a little bit riding on this shot as well.
Ding Junhui.
One of those, almost a hiding to nothing sort of a shot. You've just got to roll it in and hope. You expected to get it, but you can miss them. It's a pity, because he was on the way to making this frame very close, I think.
1.
It's hard to think there could be another twist here, but O'Sullivan has to do something to those 3 reds, I would say. Either do that or play on the loose one, left-handed, down the cushion, might be the way. Not how he operates, is it?
And he still needs
6.
a red.
Wow.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 6.
Debate really there. Possible he could have played on the red on the cushion, because that's all he needed. You wouldn't normally want to get the red off the cushion, but if you can play with both hands, it helps.
Time's running out for Ding, though.
Didn't go for that. Now he can get to this. He's knocked in a few long reds, but this is the most important long ball of the night for O'Sullivan.
That was for the match, barring snookers.
Cue was perilously close to the brown ball there. Would have been a distraction, I think. Too many reds on cushions here for Ding. He's to get something in play. Black's safe as well. I shouldn't think O'Sullivan will be moving that red by the black anytime soon. Very favourable table for someone who's 52 points in front.
Just needs a red.
One.
And this time it goes in. So 53 the difference, 51 left.
Ronnie O'Sullivan won.
Been a very strange match, but one I've quite enjoyed. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, isn't it?
Can't take your eyes off it, can you?
Some very good and some very bad.
And most of the very good, it has to be said, has come from Ding,
Foul.
albeit
4 frame and match.
been errors as
Ronnie
well, but
O'Sullivan.
2 big centuries. But it's Ronnie O'Sullivan who looks like he's bitten his tip off again. Are we going to have tip number 4 ahead of the semi-finals? He's made it, though. Whatever you say about his form, he is still emerging from each round unscathed. He's through to the semi-finals of the Scottish Open to play Li Hang. He's beaten Ding Junhui 5-4.